what I'd like to tell you now is how we conserve statues. This is kind of interesting. Back, in the mid-'80s, the statues didn't look like this, and worldwide they didn't look like this. What was happening when if you saw a statue in the early '80s, it would be half green, half black, and the green would be really streaky green. And this is green is corrosion in a statue. Statues are made of bronze, and bronze rusts, if you will, green. My car is steel, and when it rusts, it goes red, really red spots of rust. But a bronze statue, when it rusts, it has green streaks in it. And so worldwide, statues were dark blackish and half dark blackish, and the rest was very streaky green. And this is active corrosion. And it was realized in the conservation community in Italy, in Venice, it was realized that something bad was happening to statues worldwide, and it started with the horses in San Marco, I believe. They were half green, half black, and conservators looked underneath the green and discovered that underneath the green, the corrosion was actively going on and removing all of the surface metal of the statues. So after that point, after the mid-'80s, worldwide attention started to be focused to statues. And in Canada, in around about 1980, I came here in 1987, around about 1988, the government of Canada decided to conserve all of its statues to stop them corroding. Now you see how the girl's hand is on his knee, was on his knee, and you see how his knee is patinated now? See, it's kind of bronze, very polished a bit. And the other child has her hand on his boot. There's another hand on the boot. This happens all the time, and on the shoelaces there. And so oils are being transferred into the metal. And this statue is not very old. We installed this statue perhaps in, I'm guessing, 1987 or 88 maybe. And I'm doing it automatically myself. But people are doing this. And so this is patination. This is a history of people interacting with the statue. And so this is lovely. And so we, as we maintain the statue, we carefully preserve this sort of evidence. Pierson, if you notice the shoelaces here, these are the round shoelaces. Now, you men out there, for you women, there are two different types of men's shoelaces. There are round shoelaces like these, and there are also the flat shoelaces. Now, I prefer the flat shoelaces because when you tie the bow in them, it doesn't come undone. But Pierson liked the round shoelaces, and so when the sculptor, who was Dan Nixon from Edmonton, when he did the sculpture, he put round shoelaces in Lester's shoes because that's what he preferred. On that project team, on the project team for the statue, there was Michael Pierson, who is Pierson's grandson. And Michael's hands were very much like his grandfather's, and Danik used Michael's hands as the model for Lester Pierson's hands. This is really a lovely statue, and it's Danik chose the chair, Pierson sitting on the chair, to provide interest to people as we walk around the statue. And so even from the back view, like if I'm here looking at the statue, there's all kinds of interest. There's the chair back happening and the folds in his jacket. And so the statue is very interesting from the back view. And this is very difficult in doing a statue to make it interesting, visually interesting from all different angles. But Danik succeeded very nicely here. And you can see Danik, when he patinated the statue, he chose kind of a chocolate brown color as his desired end result. It's a lovely statue. Danik Modzenski, 1989, Edmonton. when Danik did this statue, he was really quite young. A very young fellow, very talented. On a technical matter, on statues, as I meant in another story, we talked about corrosion of statues and rainwater falling on statues and so on. When a sculptor is thinking about a statue and sculpting it in clay, one of the things that he considers is how rain will run off the statue. And so ideally, you would want, when rain lands on a statue, for it to fall off and not collect anywhere. It is difficult to do. Danik succeeded quite well. There are some areas where water will collect, like on the chair here, but he succeeded fairly well in arranging for water to run off. Where water can collect, this is where the conservator really has to, when we're maintaining the statue every year, we check these kind of areas very carefully and just make sure that the cold wax is either, if it's in good condition, that's fine. If it's deteriorating, then we check in there to make sure that the corrosion is not getting any further. And so we watch these kind of areas very carefully.